That was fun. Oh, oh, we go for oh, oh, I can't get out of my head. And this song has been in my head courtesy the fact that it's flooding my social media feed. Can you say once, oh, oh, we go? Oh, oh, we go? Well, this has been a very, very high energy moment, and I'm glad I'm in trainers because I can bounce and dance. I wish I had joined the flash mob though. Well, just look at that. 0 to 100 in 8.3 seconds. And an anxiety-free range of 456 kilometers. Now, as somebody who's been driving EV, most of you know that, as my primary vehicle of commute, I cannot tell you how much I have waited for this day and this moment. 456 kilometer anxiety-free range can only be truly felt and appreciated by somebody who's in the EV mode. So it's a very, very special day for me personally, and I'm sure it's going to be a special day for each one of you once you've had a chance to look at this fantastic offering. So, are you ready to get your hands on Mahindra's very first electric SUV? That doesn't sound very exciting. Okay. You know, not only is it this incredible anxiety-free 456 kilometer range, but it's also the fastest accelerating made in India car in the market today. Can we please hear a big round of applause for M&M? Every inch an authentic Mahindra SUV. The XUV400 is stylish, peppy, and so much fun to drive. Trust me. So, without further ado, let's welcome on stage Rajesh, who will tell us what's gone into this journey and what the future holds for us. Rajesh.
Hi, good evening everyone, and thanks for being with us here today in Chennai in person and those of you who are watching us live online. What a fun evening. And Gul, you've really set it up well. I wish I was a dancer, but it was great to see a flash mob. And it was also great to see the quality of the talent that went into making of the webcast. All in-house talent. Cheers to them. There's that famous line you can say, we also make cars. So, you know, we are learning, we have other talent and competencies. Maybe that's a part of making cars. So great to be here this evening as we kick off this journey. A journey which we think is going to take 2, 3, 4 months, but we thought today is an important milestone. It's an important milestone because tomorrow is the World EV Day. And we said, what better day than today to reveal what we think is going to be a market-busting concept. You are going to hear more about it as we go along, but today is about us telling you all about this new XUV400. When we look at the market opportunity, we're going to look at it in 2 buckets. One is market segmentation, but second is about customer segmentation. So let's take a look at what market segmentation is about. This, in very simple terms, is how the market is segmented today. The C segment SUV market is around 32,000 a month. The B segment SUV market is, of course, larger. What you see on the blue dots out there is the current electric vehicle penetration. You have 2 C segment brands, one representing 0.2% of the market, the other representing 0.7% of the market. On the B segment, you see one electric vehicle brand, which represents just 3.5% of the market. The market opportunity for us is to drive penetration across the B and the C segment offering. We believe that what we have, and you'll hear more about that, is a very strong C segment SUV, and we'll tell you why this is a very strong C segment SUV. What our research indicates to us, and we've done this across a large sample size, when we ask consumers, what do you think your next vehicle purchase will be? 25% of them rank electric vehicles at number one. It's as high as that. So SUV buyers and SUV intenders, when we ask them, what do you think your next purchase is going to be? 25% say it's going to be electric vehicles. That's how large the opportunity is. But really, products create categories. And we believe we have a product which is going to be a category creator. And the reason I say that lies in the second part of why we think this is a big opportunity, and that is customer segmentation. When we look at understanding customers, in very, very simplistic, non-jargonistic terms, we think there are three broad types. The first type of potential electric buying customers are those who are multi-vehicle households. Somebody in the household needs a vehicle for a short distance usage. Maybe a doctor going to his hospital or dispensary, or a lawyer who has an office close by. That's one category of the market. There's a second category of the market which is looking for value for money, economics out of buying electric. And that's an important segment as well. Total cost of ownership, so on and so forth. But really, when we think about where the opportunity really lies, it's in the third category of customers, where electric vehicles becomes part of their personality. That's what you saw on stage today. That's what you've seen in that video a little earlier. It's about self-expression. It's about a freedom. It's about breaking away from stereotypes. It's about expressing yourself. And what you see up on the screen are images of customers of that type. Customers who are living a life true to themselves, who are very authentic in the way they think. They are a self-taught generation, and that's what our brand is about, but yet they care for the climate. So it's that generation of consumer who we think is going to be a perfect fit for us, because it's that adrenal rush where age is only a number. So we're not into segmenting the market by saying 18 to 24 or 24 to 34, because we believe age is a number. That's a demographic for statisticians. There are many people old like me who still feel age is a number, and we are potential buyers for a product of this kind. So what you see up here now is our SUV purpose, and our SUV purpose is about who we are. That's our brand DNA. Our brand DNA is about making life an adventure. It is about living boldly while still caring for our planet. It's about creating sophisticated and authentic SUVs. And being adventure ready. Now, when you connect the consumer you saw earlier with our brand purpose, you can see that there's a very, very seamless automatic match. There's a match between this consumer whom we are targeting and what our brand is about. And really, hence, we believe this whole positioning around fun, while still being very socially and climate conscious, is really something which is going to resonate extremely well in the marketplace. Because fun for them, these consumers, is about being with people you love being with. That's what you saw in the video. It's about that experience, that experiential journey, where your car or your vehicle is an enabler to that. And the XUV400 is a brand of that kind. It's packed with almost everything that a consumer would want. What you see up is a best-in-class acceleration. Gul just spoke about that. 8.3 seconds, 0 to 100. Best-in-class technology, we'll hear more about that. Safety, range, space and style. You'll see soon that it's very, very, very competitive when it comes to space in the C segment SUVs. So it really has acceleration, range, space, safety, technology, and style, and all of that put together. And what we are going to hear more about is the reasons to believe some of these statements that you've seen as supers on the video or as statements from me. You will see more data coming in from Velu with Pratap explaining the design philosophy and the design language, and of course you'll see the vehicle as well. We now will look at some of the timelines so that we calibrate what we're trying to do here today. What we are going to talk about right now is you're seeing the product reveal. We'll get the media drives over the next couple of days. We're using the next 2 months, October and November, as something we call a fun fest for customers. We create multiple engagement programs for customers to experience what the 400 is like, what owning an electric is like. We think this is a very, very important part of this journey. When you're trying to create a category where none exists, you saw the penetration rate. In the C segment, it's less than 1%. In the B segment, it's 4%. The opportunity for us is to get customers to experience what this is about. We will then start test drives in the timeline of December. And then through Jan, we will go through a process of price, bookings, and deliveries. So that's broadly the plan that we have. And with that, I would like to invite Velu on stage to take over and explain. Gul, are you supposed to do that? Yeah, come, please. So Gul to come on and invite Velu. Thank you.
Life is an adventure that you can live while caring for the planet. I think that was a really big takeaway for me, and it deeply resonates with me. The market-busting capability of this vehicle and the category-creating capability is something that I'm sure you all will agree with once you've heard what Velu has to say. Now, everybody's been talking about how electric is the future. I'm sorry, electric is the present, it's here and now. But I think it's time to delve into what's gone into the making of this electric 400. It's something that we all want to know. Now, M&M is known for coming out with brilliant true blue SUVs, which are technology high and have safety at the core of their heart. Well, let's hear it from the man himself, Velu. Please welcome on stage, Velu.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So ever since Franklin Benjamin flew a kite into the thunderstorm tied with a key knob, he got a shock and then he found something called electricity. So he got electricity from thunderstorm to keep off. That's 270 years ago, 1752, and now we are in 2022. It took this much time to get the fun cars. He was doing fun with the kite. Now we will do the fun with the cars. So let's see where does this XUV700 take, XUV400 takes you, but it doesn't shock you. Unmissable presence, SUV-ness, performance, safety, fun, fast, electric, no shock. No shock in the range, no shock in the performance, no shock in the reliability. That's our goal. When it comes to unmissable presence, let me compare it with the C-segment cars. Rajesh said 1%. That's before the launch of this vehicle. But after the launch of vehicle, you see 1%, where does it go? You see these. You see these dimensions, no brainer. Widest car, among the best in the height, the length, and the wheelbase. The mathematics, you can crunch the numbers and you can find it out. But one thing is very clear, though we are comparing with the passenger car ICE vehicles. So let's compare with the EV vehicles, though they happen to be the imported vehicles. Sorry, I have some problem. Give me a second. Can you roll back? So this happens to the ICE vehicles that you see, and then now this is the electric vehicles. What you see is, again in the electric vehicles, what is imported, that you see a fantastic proposition of the vehicle, unmissable presence when it comes to the overall width, overall height, and the wheelbase, and the overall length. So next slide, please. What you hear, you see again. Okay, give us 1 minute. I have to sort it out, please. Can you go back the ICE comparison, the EV comparison and the TN comparison? Yeah. So this is one vehicle which is best selling in India, but what you see here is the length is 4,000 meters, the overall height is 1,616 meters, but millimeters, that you have here 1,634 millimeters, way above the best-selling competition locally made. You can see the overall width, and you can see whopping 100 millimeters in the wheelbase. That gives the best-in-class first row and second row the leg distance, leg room. When it comes to forward visibility and side visibility, the XUV400 possesses the highest seating position of 664 millimeters, the seating height, the hitch point, and therefore that gets you 24 degrees forward visibility angle, and then side visibility of 56 degrees, the best in the class that you can see. And I have taken the EV vehicles for comparison going forward, all the three vehicles, because you already seen with the ICE vehicles we are much better off. Side visibility, second row, again we are much better off. Seating height, we are much better off with 664 millimeters. So when you have the right wheelbase and the right seating position of 664 millimeters, you expect the cabin space and the cabin comfort to be the best in class. So what you see here is 1021 millimeters of headroom and a legroom of 1051 millimeters, best in class. Compared to the best selling EV in India, you have nearly close to 50 millimeters that you are better off in the legroom. That is the most important thing that you notice it from this slide. The boot space, what you see here, because of the 4.2 meters, you have 418 liters measured up to the roof, and compared to any other benchmark, you have the best in class boot space. So headroom, legroom, boot space, you are best in class. When it comes to ride and comfort, as you know, Mahindra does not leave any stones unturned. And I have already told about these two technologies in my Scorpio N presentation. So you have two technologies: frequency dependent damper, that means number of obstacles in the given ride distance, and the amplitude of the obstacle in the drive maneuver. So you have MTVCL valve technology that helps you to dampen as the height of the obstacles are going up. That helps you to absorb it. If you have multiple obstructions the frequency-dependent damping that helps you. So both the technologies have been brought to this vehicle. When you mount the battery, it is so important that that inertia of the battery is not amplifying the vibrations that is coming from the obstacles on the road. And these two technologies were brought specially for, so therefore the XUV300 does not need it, but XUV400 needs it. And that's the main reason that we brought it. Next slide, please. When it comes to performance and range and the battery pack, we already heard from the speakers, 8.3 seconds for 0 to 100 kilometer. That's the best in class. Now, here is what you see, the 39.5 kilowatt hour battery that gets from the highest cell energy density of 237 watt hour per kg. The best in class energy density that you can. It has a dual vent valve back design that helps. The back design is nothing but in case there is some problem with the battery cells. In the cells you have electrolyte and they start temperatures are higher and you need the ventilation of the battery very, very quickly. We don't have one, but we have two for safety purposes. And therefore it is a very safe design that we have packed it already. You have a chiller when you are 43, 47 degrees centigrade in order to cool the battery pack. You have a warmer or a heater when your temperature goes below minus 10 degrees and minus 20 degrees. You need to keep battery. You have to keep its operating temperature of plus or minus 20 degrees. In this range, you cannot exceed in these limits to keep it safe. And that's why you have chiller and heater and dual vent valves. You have a 50 kilowatt charger, so that charges you in 0 to 80 in 50 minutes, best in class again. And you have a Ramanujam's number here. It's very easy to remember. What is the range of XUV400? It's 4, 5, 6. Just like the Ramanujam number of 1729, that's the taxi he used to go. G.H. Hardy used the taxi number to go and see Ramanujam when he was hospitalized. So you remember this number, 4, 5, 6. So that's the best range. Isn't it? This is the highest number ever you heard in the B segment and C segment?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And 8.3 is the lowest number that you heard from anybody. Yes. And that's, by the way, 8.5% better acceleration than any car that is in this segment. So that I'll show you a little later. So this battery pack designed, conceived in collaboration with several partners, international partners. You saw it in the beginning of my slide, that's AVL. And it's done in none other than our Mahindra EV Tech in Bangalore. Their colleagues are here and Pankaj Sonalkar is here. Give them the warm regards and compliments to them. They did the indigenous, locally made battery pack. It's manufactured in Chakan plant.
Yes.
Go ahead, please. Next slide, please. The performance, range, and e-powertrain, believe me, you will see it tomorrow and you will feel it. It's a synchronous motor. What's more important is 310 Newton meter. I keep telling to many, many people, don't worry about the torque, but worry about where it is delivered, at what RPM it is delivered. In the IC engine, we talk about turbo lag and we say 1750, I get a torque. But here you get a torque at 25 RPM here. I mean, where are we talking? 5 RPM to 25 RPM, you are talking. Zoop, you ramp up to 310 Newton meter. You are not waiting for 1750 RPM. And that is more than sufficient for XUV400 to get it that the category that it, the position that it deserves, 8.3 seconds in 0 to 100 km per hour. The thrill of accelerating 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, you will feel it. Your adrenaline will pump up. You will feel the fun. You will feel the thrill, but no shocks. Next slide, please. Safety is the most important for us in Mahindra, and we take it very, very seriously. The safety has two components to it, the occupant safety and the battery safety. You will see very elaborate redesign of the BAW has been done in order to achieve the passenger safety and the battery safety. You can already see it. All that red, blue, and green, they are all high-strength steel that you can easily add up to 45% of our steel that is used is simply high-strength steel, out of which 10% of the steel guard the battery pack. Can you see it? In case of any problem, the vehicle skids and touches somewhere the barrier, we do not want to damage the battery, and we give the highest strength steel available in the world, that is 1500 Newton per millimeter square, compared to what normally the mild steel that you see, it is only 320 Newton per millimeter squared. You cannot just compare it. You can kick, but your boot will be destroyed. So be careful. So that's the pack that we use. You know, the loads that are coming in the frontal crash, you have to take care of 280 kilojoules. You have to take care. You see, I have already introduced for the EV vehicles, you need the third support in the bottom that you see, third load path, which already comes typically available in the Born electric vehicles, which you see already, and it protects the passenger, and nicely the load is transferred to the rear, and from the rear cage it goes down to the whole body. So frontal crash, the battery crash, battery protection has been very well redesigned with materials and the structure. Can you go to the next slide, please? So what you see here is, again, the side crash, which is very, very important when it comes to side crash. The previous slide, what you saw is the frontal crash. This reinforced structure is so important, and it has about 25% of the frontal load, so you don't require to have a very high 1500 Newton per millimeter square steel, you don't have it. But you see in the bottom, it's completely reinforced around the battery, whether it is frontal, whether it is rear, whether it is side. What you see in the side, that side member is probably closer to the battery, and therefore you have a thick sill running and protecting the battery. So when you are sitting in XUV400, enjoy the thrill of 8.3 seconds and don't worry about battery hitting somewhere. Nothing will happen. The steels are there to protect. Armory is there around the battery. Next slide, please. Fun, fast, electric, live mode. So you have a single pedal drive. You can accelerate and automatically it brakes, and you can do the single pedal. You can keep driving and you can enjoy the fun. That's the purpose of this. Start, accelerate, decelerate, stop using the single pedal. Driving simple, convenient, and more engaging. That's the technology that we have introduced. Next slide, please. HMI features, very intuitive. Monostable shifter, intuitive user controls, very easy to understand. There are 3 drive modes, fun, fast, and fearless. That you see the rotations in the anti-clockwise that you have noticed. This is not for logical people, this is for emotional, passion people. So it starts rotating in the anti-clockwise and clockwise. Next slide, please. Wow. So you have BlueSense theme infotainment, then embedded EV statistics, the charging, how much is left, the kilometer distance that you available, and charging distance. So by the way, 245 that is put here, if you make it full, then you will get 4, 5, 6. You got it. So the complete EV statistics comes into the cluster, so you don't require to be worried at all what state of the battery charging is. Next slide, please. Connectivity is one of the biggest need of the EV vehicles. What you see here is the BlueSense connectivity that we have, navigation and charger, where it is located, all the informations that you can come. We have a telematic system embedded into this infotainment system, so you get all the data is available. Next slide, please. With the telematics unit that is available, we provide 60+ connected features. vehicle controls, charging, headlamp on off, door on off, AC, all these, and then you compete and achieve. You can see the leaderboard, you can see it, and you can come on the top of it when you do the drive. You can plan the trips, and using those 60 plus connected features, it's really fun. It's really made for fun. So let me say this XUV400 is a fun. It's an SUV. It's a fun, but very, very safe. And the safe from the point of view of driving and range. And all the best. Tomorrow you will drive it. And then drop me a message if you love the thrill of 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. All the best. Thank you.
So it's fast and fun, and as Velu said, very, very safe. Well, I love the way the XUV400 looks, and you'll all see it. But let's hear it from Pratap, who'll tell us what went into the design.
Is it on? I don't need that. Thank you, Gul. Arushi and the rest of the marketing team, please don't put me after Rajesh and Velu. It's absolutely impossible to beat. You know, so next time I'm going to go first. Everyone having fun so far?
Yes.
Yeah? We go for? Amazing. Okay. Today is not about style, it's about lifestyle. Welcome to this evening's news. No, I don't think I'm going to use this. So, guys, I think, you know, I'm always incredibly happy to be at what I call is the temple of technology. MRV is truly a temple of technology, and every time I come here and every time I follow Velu, I get a absolute science, physics, you can name it. I get a, you know, I wish Velu-san was my teacher in school and college in science. I'm going to try and not compete, but at least come close to Velu-san and use a scientific line. Electrons flow through copper at the end of the day. And that's why we chose copper as our accent color. That's why we've chosen copper to signify our EVs. And I'm so proud to say that the 400 is our first car that bears the electrified Twin Peaks logo, which is in a satin copper. It's incredible that this incredibly beautiful car actually bears our first copper or electrified Twin Peaks. And like I said, today is not only about style, it's about lifestyle. I think what Rajesh showed in that one picture is a snapshot of all of us. You know, a vehicle is something that helps you realize, achieve, and live your dreams. And we say, you know, explore the impossible. And why should it be impossible to explore in an EV? There's lots of anxiety, this, that, and the other. And Velu-san has just shown that you can continue to explore the impossible even when you are in an EV. And this is why this great product bears the Twin Peaks logo, because it's every millimeter of this SUV is a Mahindra SUV. There's no compromise in any of our characteristics. Now, of course, you all have seen some of the images up front. Proudly wearing the new logo is this grille which we've blanked off. EVs don't need the same kind of cooling performance as an ICE or ICE car does, SUV does. So we've blanked that off. when I talk about lifestyle, the people who buy and buy into EVs really want to announce and want to be proud of the statement they are making. They have bought an EV. You've seen the penetration. That means, less than 1%. That means 99 point something percent is an ICE product. So these people who buy the car want to express that they've gone and made this conscious choice of buying an EV. And that's why we've blanked off the front grille, we've blanked off the lower grille as well, to really signify from the front that you have arrived in an EV. And that's very, very important. We spoke about dimensions, 2600 wheelbase. That is absolutely class leading in terms of legroom, in terms of dimension, proportion. We've underlined it, you'll see when the car comes out, with a beautiful satin copper line at the lower sill that really extends this car. And of course, the gloss copper roof. It was a challenge for our color and materials team to develop that, but they didn't give up. And we have this beautiful copper roof, dual tone, of course, which offsets what we call this infinity blue body color. This infinity blue body color is unique to the 400. And, from miles away, you'll be able to see, a 400 arriving. The other thing is, you saw again in lifestyle, people like to carry stuff. In India, of course, but we like to carry stuff. When we make a journey, when we visit people, we have bags and bags and lots of stuff. So the kind of boot space we have, 418 liters, I think that would be quite a challenge to fill. But it would take you, your family, your friends, and everything else in that one car. So the boot space is something I would like you to notice tomorrow when you drive the car, but of course when you see the car today. When we say C segment, there's also an image in people's mind, there's an expectation that the interiors have to have a certain quality, a visual quality, a tactile quality, and a general sense of being in a larger space, in a more premium car. So we've gone all black. And again, that's something I would invite you to notice. But whatever you touch, so for example, something I would invite you to notice. But whatever you touch, so for example, the air conditioning vents, or the single lever, or the dial for the HMI, those we've accented in the satin copper. So it's just these little signals around the car that here is where you touch and here's where you adjust things. So the satin copper theme from the exterior flows into the interior. And of course, this lovely leatherette seat, very comfortable, perforated, great place to be. And so your family, your friends, whoever you want to take with you, this is a real proposition. And we are so serious about, like Velu-san explained, this in no way is a compromise. It's a true, everyday usable product. And I think, and I hope that when you guys see the car or when you see the SUV, you will truly understand what's gone into creating it, from engineering, technology, brand, and design. And with that, I'm going to end here and call Gul back, but we'll catch up a little later. Thank you.
Thank you, Pratap. I love what you said, that it's a conscious choice. With all your packing into it, it's going to be the only choice. And I guarantee you, once you drive electric, there is no going back. It's just so much more fun than ice. Well, it's time to put your dancing shoes on. And we have a very, very special presentation for you. I have my dancing shoes on, so get ready to welcome the super talented Kings United.
Will not be televised.
Show me my respect and bow down. We own ya, we own ya. We only getting started now, cause we own ya. Everybody think they know me now, cause we own ya. You and I'm a homie, yeah, cause we own ya.
The revolution will be live.
electric की नई शहर. Just say where you wanna go. Oh, we go for electric is the craze. Live big, just feel the space. Jump in on the bass. We go for लंबी रेंज, चार्जिंग तेज, put the pedal for the bass. जितने कलर उतने शेड्स, चौके गाड़ी देखे जो. We go for we go, we go. We go for we connect. We go for we play. We go for we electric. We go, we go. We go for we fun. We go for we fast. We go for we electric. We go, we go. We go for we go, we go. oh, we go for oh, 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 we go for oh, 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 we go for oh, 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 we go. We running on the streets, we going for the race. We the best, let's cut to the chase. Oh, oh, we go for oh, oh. Electric is the craze. Live big, just feel the space. Jump in on the bass. Oh, oh, we go for oh, oh. For oh, oh. We go, we fly, we love, we ride. All you desire. Oh, oh, we go for oh, 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 we go. Oh, oh, we go for we connect. Oh, oh, we go for we play. Oh, oh, we go for we electric. Oh, oh, we go. Oh, oh, we go for we fun. Oh, oh, we go for we fast. Oh, oh, we go for we electric. Oh, oh, we go. Oh, oh, we go for oh, 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 we go. Oh, we go for oh, 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 we go for oh, 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 we go for oh, 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 we go. We running on the streets, we going for the race. We the best, let's cut to the chase. Oh, oh, we go for oh, oh. Electric is the craze. Live big, just feel the space. Jump in